What is anti-pop music? Anti-pop, as opposed to the good vibe pop. Anti-pop is a rising genre of music led by artists like Joji, formerly known as Filthy Frank. This type of genre features slow beats, almost like lo-fi tracks, but is quite lyrical in expressing the negative feelings, which assists people in getting through their sad boy hours. As a movement rising up, described as anti-pop, the genre is different to alt-metal, which alternative metal explores the old edgy vibe of being emo or goth, with screamo and the typical heavy guitar playing you would expect. In a sense, anti-pop is similar in the lyrical aspect, investigating human emotions and deep thoughts of the mind. In comparison, anti-pop can be juxtaposed against pop, where tracks are usually upbeat and feel happy and go lucky, or if vibe checked, allows for good vibes only. Anti-pop can be considered the new wave of gloomy music, quite possibly in replacement of the non-existent emo phase of teens of Gen Z or beyond in the deep exploration of the rising and evolving genre. Damn, that's just pretty deep in itself. Alright, so let's make one of those beats. I got a new fucking snip. Check it out. Boom, let's do it. So what's it gonna take? So we're gonna be using some samples from Splice, so that anybody can make one of these beats, and I'm going to choose a lo-fi guitar one to start with. Okay, so I've pulled them into FL Studio here, and we just found a kit on Splice called like lo-fi guitar kits, and we're going with this one here called Heavy 1 and Heavy 2. So we got two different guitar samples. We're going to take a listen to both of them, and then I'll show you guys how we get started on this beat. So we're going to be using this first sample here throughout all the way through, and the second is just going to go in the hooks, and we're going to have a really short intro and have the hook come in right away. Alright, so now let's get to some of the drums. We're going to start with a kick that smacks really hard, something like this. We're going to add kind of a live sounding like muted snare, sort of like typical lo-fi snare, something like this one here. Alright, and we're going to lay that kick and the snare out, like so, and we're going to place it in our playlist. We'll take a quick listen just so you can get a feel for how it's coming along. Okay, so obviously the guitars here are way too loud, so we're going to go in and we're going to turn those down first. I'm going to send both the guitars to channel 1. I'm going to add a fruity parametric EQ2, and we're going to cut out all the low end. I'm also going to add a fruity reverb. We're just going to leave it on the default settings, but turn it down to like 25% or so. We're going to add a fruity chorus just to kind of beef it up on default preset, but turn it down to like 25%. We're going to add one more thing, which is a fruity compressor, and we're going to put it on the vintage preset, leave it all the way at 100. Alright, we're going to take a listen again. Alright, you can obviously hear it coming along a bit, but we still got a lot of work to do. Alright, we're going to add a hi-hat to the beat now. Honestly, any hi-hat will do. I've been liking this one here. It's the red hi-hat. Village 2 steps. Pretty basic shit. I'm going to right click and piano roll. If we get in the piano roll, we can see the velocity's lower. So we're going to delete all of those. And then we're just going to duplicate like that. And then duplicate those again. Alright, now we're going to do a rough mix on our hi-hat here because it just sounds way too loud and way out of place. So we're going to turn it down, we're going to add an EQ, boost up the highs just a tad, fruity reverb, like fucking 5% on the reverb. And we're also going to add a fruity flanger. This will just kind of add like a bit of realism to it, and it also just kind of makes it sound a bit more sad. So we're going to add one more top melody of the guitar. So on the first melody we had here, we're going to duplicate it, and we're going to click this little thing, make unique, and then we're going to duplicate that, and we're going to turn the pitch of that all the way up an octave, and the volume down a bit. So then on the second part of the hook, it'll sound like this. Alright, so the drum pattern's still feeling a bit slow, so we're going to go in and we're going to fill in some more kicks. Alright, and we're going to add another snare for the hook. So this lo-fi snare is only going to go during the verses, and we're going to have another snare. This will be like a hyperpop snare that hits during the hooks. Something crazy, like this one. So we're going to choose literally like 3 or 4 different perk sounds, and we're going to use them to fill all these like empty spaces where the drums are. Whoa, that one's crazy. Alright, so I got 3 perks here. I got one called Names, one called Wrld, and one called 007. So this is the perk pattern we've laid out. I'll take a listen and show you guys. It just kind of adds like a bit of a groove in the empty spaces there. Alright, last but not least, we're going to need to add some bass into here. I'm just going to be going with the classic spins 808 on this one. I'm going to copy the kick pattern onto the 808. And I already know that the 808's in C. Alright, and we're going to add a bit of distortion to the 808, fruity soft clipper. Alright, at this point, I usually save the beat. This is my favorite part of making these anti-pop type beats, is we've already added a bunch of perks, but now we gotta add a bunch of risers and crashes and falls and stuff just to give the hook a bunch of like dynamic movement throughout it. You guys can either use something similar or do something of your own. I don't really care. It's music, just have fun with it. Alright, so I like to get just like a reverse crash first. And then I like to use an impact. And I like to put one of these open hats here. Alright, so we'll lay out something like that for all the effects, and then I'm going to split everything by channel just so I can show you guys a bit better how I like to lay out the beat. And then we'll go into a verse, second hook. I'll put like a little bit of a bridge there as well, and then we'll just go straight to an outro, like that. And that'll bring the beat to 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. Let's copy all our effects here. So for the verse, let's start with just like the hi-hat and the snare. And there we have it. Alright everyone, thanks so much for watching today's video on how to make an anti-pop type beat. My name is Young Flux. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you liked the video and come back for more. I'll be uploading tutorial videos like this every single Monday and beats all the rest of the week, so make sure you guys come back for those and hit the notification bell. Thanks so much. Peace!